Aliya from Young Great News at the BC Tech Summit in Vancouver, and I'm here with Daryl Hatton of Connection Point. Hi, Daryl.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. So I'd love for you to share what your business is about.
Well, Connection Point's better known for Fundraiser, which is our crowdfunding platform. We started here in Vancouver, and we've helped raise over $100 million in 20 different countries around the world for 125,000 projects, including entrepreneurial projects. So it's an interesting story that not a lot of people know.
Oh, fantastic. So is there any notable startups you would like to mention that you've helped out with?
Well, with the platform, some of them have been interesting in just that they're smaller projects and getting going. Some of them are things like crowdfunded science projects. We got the largest crowdfunded science project in the world on our platform called American Gut. They're studying your microbiome and all the bacteria that live and keep you healthy, and they're getting people to raise money to participate in this study. They've raised $2 million so far. So really, you don't think of people paying to be part of a science project, but that's what's happening.
Oh, I love that. I'm all about my probiotics and gut health, because don't they say like your brain is more in your gut than actually in your brain?
And the researcher who's doing that thinks that your microbiome is way more important than your genetics to your overall long-term health.
There you go. So Daryl, I would love for you to also share why Vancouver is a great hub for tech startups to get going here. If you can share some thoughts about that.
You're going to have to sit me down for a while. I'll try and keep it short because it is such a long list of great things that happen here.
Okay.
First off, check the energy in this kind of place.
I know, it's awesome.
There's so much inspiring stories, so many inspiring stories, all sorts of different kinds of technology. It's not just software and startups. There's hardware, there's biology, there's ag, there's electrical, there's communications, all sorts of different startups. So the community is very vibrant. And one of the things about BC is that we're a place that doesn't have a lot of corporate head offices. So a lot of people here have we can do it as a small company mentality right from the beginning. So they're already entrepreneurial. We have the largest per capita set of entrepreneurs in Canada here in BC. So shows like this help bring us together where we can then, as smaller companies, participate in a bigger way and have a bigger impact. So, from that kind of thing, it's great. And from a point of view of starting a company, there's lots of support for startups here. There's a really great startup culture here that's a little bit more collaborative than some places. It's not always about competition, it's about collaboration and working together. That's how we met, right?
Exactly.
And so it's really interesting to see that bearing fruit with these great companies that are coming out of that.
Yeah.
One of the things for entrepreneurs who are starting is that this is a great place to come, but also a great place to bring your team because quality of life. There's funding available here. There's great programs that are available here. There's tax credit programs in Canada that rock for helping a startup get going. But also, I don't know if you can take a look out the window and maybe I'll do an insert at some point.
Yeah.
This is an amazing place to live.
Absolutely.
And so you get the best. You get a good lifestyle or a fantastic lifestyle. You get great support for your startup, and you get a great community that loves what you're doing. How can you lose?
Absolutely. No, I can definitely attest to, say, the clean air coming from New York. I'm like, I can actually breathe here. And it's like one of the few places where you can, say, ski on the mountains one day and, surf on the beach the other day.
Right.
So.
And what they can't see is, of course, the mountains that are staring down at us from across the way here at this convention center. Yeah. And it's a stunningly beautiful place to be.
Absolutely. Very inspiring. So here's a question. A lot of times what happens is startups start out here, but once they become bigger, they leave. What do you think Vancouver and BC can do to keep the startups here?
Well, I think part of that is a little bit of older news because that used to be the only path that we had for going. If we wanted to take and get the growth capital that we needed to scale, we had to go to California or New York or other markets. That's happening less now. Investors are more willing to invest in Vancouver for the reasons that the company's here and the types of things that we can do here. So I don't know that it's a natural thing that we have to leave now. And some really good examples are companies like Hootsuite that have pledged to stay here because they want to stay here. This is a good place for them to build their business, and the investors came here to invest in that. So they're not dragging them away. And the other companies like Slack and others have got great roots here and will maintain an office here even if they have a sales a marketing office in another location. We don't even talk about all the gaming companies here. We have this huge epicenter of gaming and moving and new media companies here that have been here for a long time. Electronic Arts does its major titles, a whole bunch of them right here.
Oh yeah, I totally know. That was one of my first jobs out of university. So, and Don Matrick was the man at the time, and still is.
He's the man.
He's still the man. And that's actually very true, because I think Sharzad, when she was giving her presentation, was talking about for that very reason why she stayed in Vancouver and kept broadband around. So it's really nice to see that these startups are staying true to their roots and staying loyal to Vancouver. And I guess that's something we would like to see more of. So final thoughts. Let's see. What would you say was your favorite presentation of the day so far at the BC Tech Summit?
Well, I'm a huge fan of what Tesla's doing. So watching the Tesla CTO talk about the inevitability of the change that's coming over to renewable energy, I think that's so important for that message to get out, because we can talk about a green revolution and all the good reasons why from a green point of view it's better for the planet, but when it's economically more viable, which is what they're proving, then it becomes a no-da. Like, of course we should do this. And we can start arguing about whether or not greenhouse gases are affecting the planet at all. We can just price it out of the market so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I think that these changes are important. So I love that presentation. I love the fact that he's here talking about that in BC. It tells you a little bit about the impact that we're having.
Absolutely. Great. Well, thank you so much, Daryl, for doing our interview, and it was good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks.